Namaste. Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga Primary Series Standing Sequence. This is the first part of the sequence. And it's a little bit odd to memorize. Nobody has told me this. This is the way I memorize, and I'm going to share this with you, and hopefully it's going to work. So if you don't know the sequence yet, this is for you. If you already know the sequence, just go ahead till you see me standing. You can fast forward. Now, after some salutes A and B, you're warmed up, your heart is pumped. And the first postures after that is Padangustasana and Padahastasana. I'll demonstrate how they look. If you know what they are, it's those which you grab your toes or put your hands under your feet, and it's a forward fold. And even though there's a lot of actions, to the naked eye, if you look at the sequence, you're doing the sun salutes, which are very dynamic, and right after, it's this one, and it looks like you're taking a break. Very well deserved. That's how I memorized it. I know you're not taking a break, but that's how I memorized it. And after those two postures, the way I memorized it is what follows I called 4x4. Why 4x4? Because you've heard this word before. It's easy to remember, 4x4. And what it means is you're going to open 4 times, and you're going to do 4 postures. What do you mean you're going to open 4 times and do 4 postures? Well, up until this point, we were working in the front of our mats. And we were doing inhala, exhala, sun salute, and then go back to the front of the mat and come back. Then we do Padangustasana and Padahastasana. I'll do them better in a little bit, in a moment, to explain do's and don'ts. And all I'm trying to explain is the 4x4s now. After those two, what follows is 4x4. And what does that mean? It means you're going to open up in start position 4 times. You're going to open up. And each time that you open up, you're going to do 4 postures. 2 on one side and 2 on another side. You're actually going to alternate, but it's going to be 4 postures total. Then you're going to come to the front, and then you're going to open up again, and you're going to do 4 postures, and then you're going to come to the front. Then you're going to open up again. You're going to do 4 postures. I think you get my point, why I call it 4x4. So open up 4 times, each time do 4 postures. And now we're going to cover which postures are those. Just know this, that after that, it's only balancing sequence and warrior sequence, balancing sequence and warrior sequence, and then you go to seated postures. So it's actually, quick. Just you need to memorize how the order of the postures, how they come, and which ones they are, and the do's and don'ts. Fair enough? Okay. So we'll do that now. So I'll keep on doing the format where I'll present the posture from the front and from the side. Well, first from the side, then from the front. But just keep the 4x4 in mind so that you memorize the order really quick. So again, this is going to represent the front of the mat, and this is going to represent the front of the mat. Fair enough? So, what am I looking at? We just finished sun salutes A and sun salutes B. In fact, why don't I do a finish sun salute B for you? From downward dog in sun salute B, we're gonna come to the front of the mat. Inhala, go long. Exhala, come down. Inhala, do chair. And exhala, stand up. Remember, you want to connect the postures. Separate your feet. Grab the toes. Inhala, go long. Exhala, forward and down. So do's and don'ts. Don't allow, first, try to have your legs straight. If you must bend the knees to reach your toes, then all you're doing at this point is try to get the legs straight. But if you have your legs straight already, try and bend the elbows. And don't allow the sitting bones to lift up to the sky. Instead, look, I'm lifting them up. Instead, ground them to the heel. So my sitting bones are gonna go towards the heel. Watch. Heel. So I'm grounding them, and now I can come down a little more. Otherwise, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna let them go up to the sky. Watch. So they're up to the sky now. Up to the sky, not grounding them. Up to the sky. Ground them. Up. Ground. So when you bring this energy, don't allow it to escape. You bring it down. You should feel that the belly engages. This is called Uddiyana Bandha. Open up the elbows. Pull down with your biceps. Bring your shoulders away from the ears. Bring the hips above the heels. And shoot the sternum towards the ground. Breathe. Connect to the shoulder blades. Shoot the sternum. Pull a little more. Hips over heels a little more. And when you're done with your 5 breaths, you release. And change to hands under feet. Your toes most touch the wrists. Inhala, go long. Elongate the spine. Watch my spine. Exhala, forward and down. And again, don't allow the sitting bones to come up. Ground the sitting bones. Pull down a little more. Concentrate on hamstrings and buttock stretch. Activate the bandhas. Continue breathing. And I'll show you what that looks like from the front. Release. So, from here, you're grabbing the toes on Padangusthasana and pulling down, and then shoulders away from ears. Don't allow sitting bones to come up. Make this part flat, this part up as you pull down. And Padangusthasana or Padangusthasana is like this. Remember, toes go all the way to the wrist. Your palms are flat. And you try to repeat. You bend the elbows, pull forward, ground the sitting bones, make this part flat, make this go away from the ears. And concentrate the stretch on the buttocks. Now you may have noticed how I came up, and I'll show you from the side. So to come up from these postures, ideally, you're going to release and bring hands over waist, on the waist, and you can micro bend the knees so you can safely come up without any strain. So micro bend the knees. Okay? Bring your feet together, and we begin 4 by 4. So on the inhala, open, and the exhala, enter the first posture, in this case, Trikonasana towards the back. Trikonasana towards the back. Now, do's and don'ts on Trikonasana. Notice how my heels are almost pointing in the same direction. So my foot's not open, it's in. And this allows for my hips to be in the correct position. I want to maintain the correct position, hips and shoulders. And elongate the space between hips and shoulders once I'm down. Never allow the knee or the leg to bend. If this happens, just don't come down as much. It doesn't make sense to have the legs bend and try to do Trikonasana. It must have legs straight because you're activating the legs to stabilize the hips. So if you bend the knee a little bit to reach, then this leg is not active, this hip is not stable, and purpose of the posture is lost. If that's the case, it's better to put hand here. Obviously, the idea is to reach the toe, to grab the toe. So that's the do's and don'ts. Legs are active. We're always having our standard universal instructions. So legs are active, thighs back, buttocks down, and elongate the spine, elongate the sides, and then the other arm just comes out. I'll show you from the front. There's a tendency to open more than you want to. And that's not what we are looking for. We're looking for alignment of the shoulder and then just twisting of the neck at the end. And this happens to the back and to the front. Makes sense? So long legs, stable hips, align with shoulders, elongate the sides of the body, align shoulder with shoulder, and open or bring the energy up from your hand. Not open, just up. And then that's Utthita Trikonasana, and then we do Parsvita Trikonasana, which is twisting triangle. So we do 4 postures, but really we only need to remember one. It's Trikonasana to the back and the front, and twisting Trikonasana to the back and the front. Inhala, come up. And in this case, the left arm comes down. Remember to twist your heels to face the front of your mat. Bring your left hand down on the exhale. Align your hips so that they're square or level with the bottom of the floor, and bring the buttocks back, elongate the spine, bring shoulder over shoulder to create the twist, and simply bring the hand up and twist the head. There's no need to overdo. Watch for your legs and watch for the hip sinking. This happens a lot. I'll show you on the other side. Inhala, come up, and we do it towards the front. We just switch sides. Same thing. Legs are long, hips are square, shoulder over shoulder to create the twist. Bring the hand up, elongate the crown, and twist the neck up. And let me show you this from the front so that you understand the over alignments that I was speaking about. So this is the front of the mat. We open and enter Trikonasana. Notice the alignment, the side of the body, and this is what people tend to do. They tend to overdo this. Oh, look, I can open a lot more, but that's not what we're looking for. That creates a zigzag from the wrist on the bottom to the zigzag up. But we're looking for an alignment. shoulder, shoulder, and hand up. Okay? And I'll show you, might as well, let's do it on the other side. So remember, don't open, just align. And I'm holding on, but you should grab the toe. That's the Ashtanga way. And when you twist, these are the very common misalignments. So people forget to bring the heel out, and it becomes hard to twist. If you don't bring the heel out, twisting is hard. So make sure heel is out so that your hips are square. You touch ground, align shoulder over shoulder, and open. Don't overdo it. And watch. A lot of people sort of kind of tend to have a tendency to look like this. And you want to chin up and twist the neck. I'll show you from the other side. So up on the inhala, down on the exhala, and alignment is here on the shoulder. And the tendency if people do this, they want to look at their hand, but they look at down instead of extending and up, right? And the hips, you gotta keep this hip square so that you can create the twisting just on the spine by grounding the hips. So a great way to teach this is with a block, because student doesn't use the block, teacher uses the block. When the student opens to do Parsvita Trikonasana, the teacher comes and places block in that position. And now, student is able, as they open, teacher is able to touch with the block and create pressure to do the alignment. And student realizes the tilting of the pelvis that takes place in this posture. Make sense? I hope it makes sense, because this is a great tool for the teacher to teach in this posture. And it's a little hard to teach online. But the hip must remain square. The block must remain like that. It should not tilt like this or like this. And it happens. So as you open, student must keep block straight. Don't allow to tilt, but straight, not tilt. See? It's great tool for that purpose.